I have a perspective and narrative that you guys should always curriculum that you guys should always follow when you go to family court. I'm gonna break that down to you why. New to the channel, man, please by all means hit that subscribe button, like my videos, share my videos. Individuals need to hear this so we can clear this. All right. So a lot of you guys, I'm gonna bring Negro Please on board. Stand by with me for a second. Still be here, we can't wait. I'll be right there. All right, hold on. All right, so I have a belief, and that belief is I'm more mental. I live in a mental perspective than I live in the physical perspective. When it comes to dealing with people, I live in the mental. I'm not going to deal with people in time. If I could give you an example of what I mean when I say that. When I say I'm not going to deal with people in time, is what I've learned a very long time ago is a reaction is warranted in time. For example, if you go to the store and somebody tries to, you give them the, you go buy something and they chooses not to give you your change, you're going to react in time. You're not going to go home and then say, why didn't you give me my change? You're not there no more. You're home. But then if you're dealing with a chick and a chick says, you ain't nothing. I don't see a reason to say anything. I don't. So the difference, that with that difference that I just gave is what I'm going by right now when I say this. So when I say to you, why you should always be a zombie. What's going on, streams? I see you, man. When I say you should always be a zombie when you go to family court, I'm about to tell you why you should always be a zombie when you go to family court. People, I'm gonna tell you about when I was in federal court. I had an issue going on in federal court. And I had an issue going on in federal court, and in federal court in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, you don't sit at your at the desk or whatever. You're up at the bench. It's you, the prosecutor, right, and the judge. You can reach out and touch him. Hey, you can reach out and touch him. And I remember, and you probably remember the story. I remember when I had filed a motion with the court, and the prosecutor said, "You filed this motion?" I said, the first time he said, I filed that motion. Then he said, "This motion?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You filed this motion in court." When he said it the third time, I realized, like, you know how you watch Iron Man and they showing him from the visual screen inside the helmet view, and he be looking at, and a clear example, when he was the first Avengers, when he was trying to get Dr. Selvig to shut down the Tesseract, and then he looked up. When he looked up, his screen was blue. He said, "Yeah, right." And then it was like, and then the screen turned red, and all the bombs it showed all the bombs that he had. That's what you got to be on that when you go to court. When that prosecutors did that to me, my whole demeanor changed. It was like, boom, boom. I said, "Oh, you're trying to have me come over here and feel incompetent." Oh. So I responded to him the third time and said, "Yeah." I said, why you keep doing that, man? I didn't file that for you. I filed it for the courts. I don't care what you think. I filed it to please the court. It doesn't say please the attorney, please the prosecutor. I'm here to please the courts. When I said that, the judge was like, okay, calm down. He was like, and the look on his face was like, maybe two things. Maybe if this guy ever come again, I have them sit at the table. And the other look he was given, like, oh yeah, dude is not intimidated. No, I'm not. You guys go to court and the courts intimidate you, going back and forth. Let me tell you, I've been doing this 26 years now. Here's the crazy thing. I'm talking mega crazy. It is crazy to talk to somebody and hear them go through emotions with you, but was flatlining when he went to court. Straight flatline. It's like, straight flatlining in court. I give you an example. I had a client. And this guy, he went a couple of months and didn't have me on retainer. During those couple of months that he didn't have me on retainer, he got his ass handed to him. I mean, they went up in his shit with the King Kong dong. You hear what I'm saying? They like didn't even give dude a bite stick. They was like, when he went to court, they just had a route party on his butthole. They was like, "You next," and just they gave his butthole the business. They played tag team dick tips with his butthole. You hear what I'm saying? Give me a second, y'all. I cracked myself up. And one thing. God dang. One thing people that know me knows, yo, man, we damn near about to be 60. You know what Chris said to me the other day? He was like, "Remember that time in second grade when I poured your milk on you?" Man, I don't remember this. Yo, Chris' memory is crazy. Yep. I remember. So we talking. This is a guy that used to be a client. And he's rambling on, basically trying to give me well, the reason why I asked this is because we ain't do that. And because when I got locked up, this and that. And that's what I was wondering. I'm like, bro, hold on. First of all, you didn't get locked up with me. I did. I told you I did. I said, I got a slew of cats that went to court for non-contempt. They didn't get locked up. I got not getting locked up for non-payment of child support when you don't have a job is my specialty. You know how Tony Stark be like, Jarvis, yes, sir. I got a Jarvis that be like, I just be like, Jarvis, I'm sorry, sir. I was with Mr. Stark. Rabble me off. I got a client going tomorrow. His name is Okie Dokie. Generate a thing for me. And it just, I got a you ain't going to jail for non-contempt on standby. And I was like, nah, I had to pay this. I had to pay. I said, bruh, okay. You retained me in January, February, and March. You didn't have me on retainer in April, May, June, or July. I said, I'm most willing to bet in April, May, June, or July. This is when you went through this stuff. So please give me the date when it was in June. Okay, you did not have me on retainer. Yeah, you didn't have me on retainer, right? So I can talk to a grown man that can try to verbally give me the business. But for some reason, they can't go to court. Quiet as a mouse. Man, let me tell you something about your boy. It's why I was almost brought up on mutiny in the military. You know what mutiny is? Mutiny is like a coup, but against your superior officers in the military. They was going to bring me up on mutiny charges. You know what stopped them from bringing me up on mutiny charges? What stopped them from bringing me up on mutiny charges is my impeccable record. As you've seen, if you've seen the first Star Trek, when Spock became captain and he kicked Lieutenant Kirk off the bridge, and then Mr. Hank McCoy walked up to Captain Spock and said, may I speak freely, please? He said, when you go on a war, when you go into a race, you don't leave your best stable at home, right? I was the best. That's why it didn't happen. I was the best. So I tell y'all, Kenneth Brooks, Monroe County, Pennsylvania. Call Kenneth Brooks. Call him and say, hey, man, this is what I want y'all to do. This is what I want y'all to do. I tell y'all this all the time, right? Because, during the time when I was giving these motherfuckers the ultimate in hell, they didn't have this stuff that they have now. They didn't have social media. Sorry about that, unplugged. They didn't have social media. They didn't have it, right? Social media wasn't out. So I tell you individuals, like I always tell you, because what did they say? What did they say? Ain't they don't they say I need the receipts? Don't they say I need the receipts? Kenneth Brooks, Monroe County, Pennsylvania. Call Monroe County, Pennsylvania, and ask to speak to Kenneth Brooks. And Kenneth Brooks will say, when Christopher Smith used to come in here for non-payment of child support, he used to get an ass. I'm telling y'all, that's what he's going to say. Or he'll say, Christopher Smith is the only guy that ever walked into this courtroom and didn't pay child support and walked out of here. Let me tell y'all the story if you don't remember. I got locked up for non-payment of child support one time. Now, Monroe County releases at 3 or 5. If you don't get released at 3 or 5, you're staying overnight and you're going to get released tomorrow at 3 or 5. Here it is, 7:30 at night. I was watching the guy when he came in. I read his lips. He said, Christopher Smith in here? Yeah. Christopher Smith, yo, pack it up. You're going home. I heard people saying, yo, who the fuck? Damn, it's that. I got out. The dude that walked me out, he said, your clothes right there, put the uniform in that bin right there. And the door is open. Yeah. Then all of a sudden, this dude came up to me. He was like, hey, man, who are you? I said, what do you mean, who am I? This is what he did. Man, I've been working here 11 years, man. I've never seen nobody leave and don't pay nothing. He said, you got released at 2 o'clock, but the computer wouldn't let us put a 0 for the purge amount. We kept calling the courts. How do we generate a release number for you? They don't even have it. We couldn't even generate. We had to put a fake amount in there to generate a release number for you. That's who I am. So y'all gonna have to excuse me when I'm on the phone talking to a bitch that went to court and they played tag team asshole with took their dick tips and played tag team with his asshole. Y'all gonna have to forgive me. I got receipts. I mean, like I said, social media wasn't out then, but I'm giving y'all the name, Kenneth Brooks, Monroe County, Pennsylvania. Write him a letter. Hey man, black dude on YouTube said blah, 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 blah. See what he say. See what he say. See the response you get. So I'm not that dude sitting in here on 2026 saying, telling y'all what to do, and I'm just gonna set you up to get your tail handed to you. It's not happening. Again, I'm the youngest of 4 boys. The unfortunates with my upbringing, I got my ass kicked. And because I got my ass kicked, I'm not into the business of getting my ass kicked no more. That boots in my butthole will never be friends again. Not happening. Anything short of a colon. Give me a second. We need a timeout. As my hand is healing, when I move it, it hurts, man. All the blood rushes to it and the thing hurts. But I got the stitches out yesterday. Yowza. That's why I wear a glove. It kind of like keep it suppressed. But like I was saying, you don't want to hear nothing about that. I'm not going to sit there and allow anybody to have me thinking that I'm wrong. So I always tell individuals, when you go to court, you need to be a zombie. You heard that? When you go to court, you need to be a zombie. You need to be a zombie. What do I mean when I say you need to be a zombie? What do I mean? Gee, I'm glad you asked. When I say you need to be a zombie, if the judge is at your 11 o'clock, oh, shit. Oh, fuck, that hurt. I am going to hand therapy. I never knew it was hand therapy. So I'm about to start 3 months of hand therapy. It's amazing. I almost cut these fingers, but I got pain smack dead in the center of my finger. My wrist, I got pain, aches, hurts like hell. And right here, my forearm, it feels like it's burning. It's amazing. It's amazing. I appreciate that, Clear Streams. Clear Streams said, let me get those thumbs up. And I definitely appreciate that, man. Damn. So, So I always tell individuals, if you're standing here and you're on the right side of the judge, that means the judge is on your right. If you're on the left side of the judge, that means the judge is on your left. So if you're on the left side, if the judge is on your left side, your judge will normally be at your 10 o'clock. If the judge is on your right, the judge will be at your 2 o'clock. What I tell individuals when you go to court, always look at 12 o'clock. Always look straight. Always look straight and be doing like this. Y'all got to understand, family court is all mental. It's all in your mind. You think it's not. You think it's not. In Brooklyn, New York, I drafted up a motion for federal for the judge. The judge was like, when we sent him a letter of intent, he said, I don't think we're going to do it. Done. These judges is on crack. And I'm doing a lot of extensive research on trying to get federal courts to step in, and the circumstances for family court, for a judge to step in, it got to be extreme. It has to be extreme. I appreciate that. My man says sad for you. Yeah, I messed around. Listen, I was fixing my garage. I took the garage doors off because there's a tree that grew behind my. The tree grew behind my garage. The tree is one of them big 5-foot wide trees, 5-foot big oak joint, and this at the bottom of it, it's just get wide. It widens out. Well, you can see at the back where it's widening out, it's pushing my garage up. Because it's pushing my garage up, of course it's not that much, but you could tell when I first brought the house, the garage has about 4 things that bend. The first one got off track. Then one day I was in the house and I heard bam. I was like, what the heck was that? I went outside and the garage, the second got off track. Now in the last year, the third one. Now people my friend and I was talking, and his answer to everything is call somebody out there to fix it. I said, you cannot fix the fact that the garage is bending. I said, it's unfixable. You cannot. A garage has to be straight for both sides to be on track. I said, if one is off, if the garage is bit twisted, then the garage can't go straight. It's not gonna happen. And I said, I'm not bringing nobody out here, pay him $2,000 to fix my garage door. Then a month later it happens and he's gonna be like, well, hell, you got a problem, buddy. I said, I'm smart enough to know why this is going on. Anyway, I ended up putting 2 barn doors. I had finished the doors. They looked good. And then I went back and said, I'm going to put a piece of trim at the bottom, and had a circular saw in my hand and bent down and literally just was like, yang, to my hand. I had no idea what the fuck happened. The blade kicked my hand out. So it was like, bang, my hand went like that and blood and shit was flying everywhere. And I looked at my hand. When I looked at my hand, I swear to God, I thought they was going to have to cut it off. I had no idea they was going to sew my hand together. And they told me, though, it's going to take months for it to get back. But I just didn't know that I would get pain down here, pain in the center of my hand. And yesterday, when they took the stitches out, they was like, you feel this? I was like, yeah. Are they that? I said, it's tingling. She said, tingling is good. That means your feeling is going to come back. She said, as long as you got tingling, we're good. So she said, okay. So it's going to take a while, but I upped my protein intake dramatically. Everything I eat is high in protein so I don't lose muscle mass. Because trying to work out just instantly, this one finger right here, my one finger, this mug swells up. As a matter of fact, it's still swollen. I can't bend it. She was like, the tendons and everything is there. She said, I think it's just you can't bend it because of the swelling. So it happened January 10th and shit's still swollen. So that means it's a lot of trauma inside my finger, a lot of stuff. Because when they was sewing it together, they was stuffing meat and shit back in there. I was like, yo, okay. I thought you was just gonna wipe that away. They're like, no, you got to put all that back. That's you. It needs to go back inside you. Yeah. Listen, the biggest thing that I was going through was, like, it's funny because I jumped in my 5 Series, and then when I got released that night, when I jumped back in my 5 Series, my X5, I just looked at the passenger seat and all that blood, even my pants. My pants was drenched. My pants was drenched. When I walked into the ER, they was like, oh! Yeah, very well said. Stream said, you're blessed to still have your fingers. Yeah. Actually, I think what happened, the blade hit my ring, and that's when it kicked it out. Because it went down my fingers, went to the tips, the middle, and then it hit my ring. And then when it hit my ring, it's like, it threw out. If I didn't have my ring on, it would have went down. It would have kept coming. It would have kept going. Because what people don't realize is your reaction time is not, before you realize what's happening, you can't react. So when I play it back, I heard that ding I had on my high school ring, and it hit my finger. The blade, I was looking, and then the blade it hit the ring and kicked out. So that's what happened. And so I'm slowly but surely coming back, but you deal with it. But so that's that. But I appreciate anybody that had shown me concern. Again, I didn't tell anybody. I only told one person that I knew about it. Everybody else, I told them I just stabbed myself with a screwdriver by accident. Why? Because I don't need all the fake so you okays. I don't need all the fake bullshit. I don't need it. 38 stitches. 38 stitches that I got. I don't need all the nonsense, but I appreciate it. So like I was saying, so the judge is either going to be at your 10 o'clock or 2 o'clock. You look 12, and what you do is you stand there with your fingertips together in a power struggle, in a power pose. And always have a pad. Always take a pad with you when you go to court. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. Always take a pad with you when you go to court. Why take a pad with you? Because when the judge say things, you want to be like, if she say, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, you want to be like, and he or she going to look at you like, oh, yeah, I'm checking you. One thing a judge always want to do, and it's not illegal, people, all right? I'm going to be clear about something, because y'all don't get it. Y'all don't get it. It's not illegal, all right? It's not illegal, all right? It's not illegal. Let me say it again. It's not illegal. It's not illegal. All right? It's not. Let me say it again. This is not illegal. When you go to court, the judge is going to say things to you with a mean, stern face and look at you, and that's to intimidate you, to suppress you. The worst thing you could do when you go to family court is not have an attorney. For them, that means you're going to say everything you want to say. This is why I'm now looking to do federal injunctions, because judges are now saying, I'll just deny his motions. I'll just deny his motions. So I'm smarter than that. I'm a nerd. As I told Judge James Triano, there isn't a person in this courtroom smarter than me. So here's the thing. We're going to ask for a second opinion for a medical issue, and we want the judge to throw out the motion. And I want the judge to throw out the motion because a judge is not a medical, and you should be able to get a second opinion. But the mother just did something and I'm not allowing my client to get a second opinion. So I'm going to pick that in particular so the judge can say, no, the father don't have no rights. This is a medical issue and you're denying the rights. I believe that is ample enough reason to have the federal courts step in. The federal courts will step in for your case. It needs to be a valid reason. You just got to create the reason. You got to create that reason. And the problem with a lot of you guys is you don't know how. But again, the worst thing you could do when you go to family court is that judge look over there and see you with your folder and everything ready to talk on your own. Because they don't want you to do that. They want to intimidate you so they can control you, like the Democrats. It never worked on me. It works on you. And you need to stop that. You need to stop that. You need to stop that. And one of the ways you stop that is you never even look at the judge. You stand there like this, or in your hands on a power tip, just tapping your hand tips together, looking straight. Objection. She said, I smoke weed. Well, do you smoke weed? She needs to prove that. I don't need to come in here and say yay and nay. I'm not supporting her. I plead the Fifth Amendment to any questions on intimidation. I'm not going to support a thing. She said, I smoke weed. Objection. I'm objecting to that. I don't smoke weed. Or if they ask you, no, don't say I don't smoke it. Say she needs to prove it. Don't say, don't deny it or confirm. And that's how you go in court and act. You don't go in court and let her talk and because when she, listen, I'm going to tell y'all something. I have heard hundreds of thousands of individuals in my life talk about the fears of family court. You couldn't get me to believe one of them. I don't believe not one fear of family court. Not one. I don't believe a judge can do what they want. I don't believe that a mother always get custody. I don't believe that she can come to court and just say anything. I don't believe none of that. None of it. I don't know how y'all believe it. I don't know how anybody believes that a woman can do what they want. I have the slightest clue as to how y'all think a judge can do what they want. I just don't know how y'all think that. So a woman could come to court and say whatever they want. Little Kim and Martha Stewart came to court and said whatever they want and ended up going to jail for lying. And then you say, well, women do that. No, you let them do that. I don't want to hear nobody ever telling me my child's mom came to court and lied. I'm going to say, no, she didn't come to court and lie. You just didn't make her tell the truth. Not trying to hear that. Y'all motherfuckers act like, this is what y'all act like. Tell me where I'm wrong. Please. You're very vocal today. Tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm wrong. Y'all motherfuckers act like women come to court and lie. Wait for it. And tell the truth everywhere else. Y'all act like they just, everywhere else they're truthful. And when they come to court, you can't get, they like, they're just lying. Women always lie. And it's actually the reverse. Court is the one place you shouldn't do it. But they only do it and get away with it because you allow them. Find Tia LaShawn Bradley and ask her how many times she was allowed to get away with a lie. I can't do it. She'll hit you off with a donut. You guys allow that shit. I'm not trying to hear it. Not trying to hear it. It's not an accident that I started this company. It's not an accident that I have the beliefs that I have. It's not an accident that all the things. Again, I made it my business. When I was a little kid, I was about this big. And said, there's no way on this planet I'm going to fall into any negative stereotypes concerning black men. And I didn't, except family court. This is what they collided with. They thought that they like, why is he so mad? You are not, under circumstances zero, going to have me thinking that you are going to treat me like a criminal. I didn't do nothing. And because I didn't do nothing, I'm not going to shut up. You can look at me all you want. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. But again, they look at you mean. They get these ugly faces. I'm going to tell you the first time the ugly face happened to me. I was in federal court. and in Wilkes-Barre, again, back in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. And judge comes out, heavyset judge with a robe on, wearing a Rolex. I'm like, oh shit, dude got on a Rolex. I'm saying this to myself. Right? Now, I'm telling y'all, right? I'm telling y'all on this live stream today, when you go to court, you should be a zombie. And you should be a zombie because you're not there. You're just listening, ready to object. This is an example of what I mean. I sat down there and watched that judge come out there, sit on that bench with a Rolex. Again, I said, oh shit, dude wearing a Rolex. Me and him gets into it. I said, I want an adjournment because I was improperly served. The judge literally said to me, I personally served you myself. So y'all really think that a judge sat in his chambers and sent me out a letter? He didn't do that. He did that to put it on record. This is all the games that y'all be getting all fucked up with these judges. It's nothing but games. So I said, no, you didn't. You had somebody do that for you. You did not personally do that. He just looked at me he was trying to intimidate me. Then he said, I seen it in the book when I signed in. I seen something. I said, yeah, I had the address. That's not my address. He said, show me. Somebody brought me the book. I said, that is not my address. I don't live in that town. But he tried to give me mean looks. Now I said to myself, how the you gonna give me a mean look and you're wearing a Rolex? That's like seeing every time I see somebody in a Rolls Royce or a Bentley, they be here with it. When you driving and you look over at them, they be like, here's what you're never gonna see at a person driving a Bentley. You know, you can't hear them, so I'm dramatizing. They on speakerphone in their car. You ain't never gonna see that. You're gonna roll up on somebody in a Bentley GT, a Rolls Royce, and they gonna be in that mug like fly as hell. They ain't gonna be in that mug catching a fit. What the They ain't gonna have their phone in their hand. Not happening. Not happening. I'm gonna tell y'all why. One thing that people, y'all appreciate my work. But over the years, on my personal Facebook, people were treating me like I was a donkey whore. Hey, yeah, you heard him? Dad, you see that video? He said this and all that. In the last year and a half, I started posting a lot of my feelings on personal Facebook. Now everybody talking to me now like, oh, that's so cool, this and all that. Why? Because I helped them understand something. I'm successful. I'm 57. Nothing gets me mad. I tell you guys all the time, old and happy goes together. Old and bitter only happens when you're a failure. When you went through life and you failed at everything. You're an absolute failure. And when you're an absolute failure, those are the people that you see mad at the world. Successful people, it'll literally take an act of God to get me to raise my voice. It'll take an act of God for me to have a bad day. I don't have bad days. By the mere fact that I wake up, I say, wow, I get to live again. I get to live another day damn, yeah, I'm so fly. No. And now people, my friends on Facebook, they understand that now. They understand. Damn, yeah, because I don't have a different pair of glasses on every time I see him in the video. Yeah, I don't have as many cars as he got. Yeah, I don't have that life that he got. Yeah, I don't have 2 IULs. No, I didn't retire at 39. No, I didn't. What? Yeah, so why would he be mad? Yeah, I'm not mad at shit. Oh, he hate black women. No. You just, like I tell individuals, I've told them enough. When it comes to disrespecting me, you will always be at the attempt stage. You will never make it to the disrespect me stage. Ever. Another video though. You will never. You will get stopped in the first sentence and get that buttonhole checked. It's not happening. Why? Ain't nothing breaking my stride. Ain't nothing gonna slow me down. Oh no, I got to keep on moving. Yeah. I'm happy. Sorry. No, it's not happening. So, back on track. That judge thought, I ended up winning that case, by the way. Judge thought that he was going to come out there and intimidate me. And again, it is not. It is not illegal. It is not illegal for them to lie to you, trick you, or intimidate you. It's not illegal. You go there to argue, and whatever they need to do to win, it's legal. They're going to look at you mean. They're going to do all these things. It's not illegal for them to do that. It's not. It's not. You live out of state. They told you got to come here and come here to this hearing. It's not illegal for them to do that. You gotta argue jurisdiction. It's not illegal for them to do that. You was improperly served. You had an attorney. Your attorney didn't fight it. You just signed away your rights. You cannot do this. You cannot think that. This is why I don't know why you guys get attorneys in family court. I just don't. I don't know why. I'm scratching my head on that one. I have the slightest clue as to why you get attorneys on family court. I have slightest clue. Slightest clue. Slightest clue as to why you get an attorney. You sign over your rights. And then you say, my attorney did this to me. My attorney did that to me. My attorney did. And then I start snoring because you put me to sleep with the my attorney nonsense. You hired him. You hired said attorney. You know you sign over your rights, but individuals retain us and then they try to act dumb. Like, oh, I had no idea. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, you gave him whoa, 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 whoa. You knew. No audio? Whoa. Let me see. Maybe because the Bluetooth was on. Let me see. Can you hear me now? I don't know why. Okay. Wow. Yeah, I'm not understanding. Really, I'm not understanding. Everybody, the second something go down, the second, listen, I want to be clear about something. I'm that dude. I want to be clear about something. I want to be clear. Let me reiterate something to y'all. I told y'all this before. When Atia LaShawn Bradley came to court with her attorney, I walked up to said attorney. I said, "You got kids, counselor?" He said, "I do." "I'm going to put your kids to college with her money," and walked off. Heard what I just said? I told Atia Bradley's attorney, "I'm going to put your kids through college with her money." I had Atia LaShawn Bradley's attorney understand, I'm going to keep her ass in here. I'm going to show her how I work. You guys don't have no strategy. You guys, the second you hear court, you start clucking. No homo. My dick get hard. No homo. My dick get hard. I get so excited. I get so excited that I get a chance to put verbal foots up an ass. I get so excited that I get another stage to execute my brilliance. I get yet another chance as somebody think that they can outwit Nerd Solo. Not happening. It's not happening. Not happening. Not happening. I don't know why y'all get attorneys. They will sell you down the river for no expense. I can't tell you how many attorneys, how many clients, and I had individuals say, "Well, we just gonna see what the judge gonna say." I got a client in California. I'm releasing a video Monday, part 1 and 2. His attorney, I said, I'm almost willing to bet your attorney didn't file nothing. He goes down to check with the clerk. His attorney filed nothing. His attorney literally took a $200 deposit 2 days before court to file a motion, didn't file it. This is what attorneys do. If you get an attorney, listen to me. At least go down there and see what your attorney filed. Your argument isn't what he filed, not what he say in court. Yeah. Y'all be killing me. Y'all be killing me. This is why I tell you, represent yourself. Be a zombie when you in there, and all you're doing is going to court and you're collecting their best. Their best. What happens when somebody got a bout with Mike Tyson? You think that they're gonna go for you think they're gonna take their shot in the second and third quarter? They like, I may not even be here. So what happens when the bell ring? When the bell ring, when individuals fight Mike Tyson, they hit Mike with all they got. And Mike sit down and be like, "You ain't got nothing else. I know you ain't got nothing else. Because you know you got to give me your best. You know you got to come out of the gate with the best." So when you go to court, they're going to hit you with their best. I can't tell you the hundreds of clients in my career came back and said, "Yo, as this was unfolding, I couldn't believe it. This is exactly what you said was going to happen." So I'm telling you here today, on this 26th of February, don't ever look at the judge. Stand there with your hands like this with a pen and pad. And if the judge say, "I'm not going to do this," you write it down. You let the judge know, no, I'm not tracking her. I'm tracking you. I got a client in South Carolina. And this is the example that I want to give. Judge comes in there and says, I'm not going to hear the mother's motion, the mother's motion. I'm not going to hear that today. But I'm almost believing that she said defendant or plaintiff. I don't think she said mother. So let me clarify that. I'm sure she said the mother, the plaintiff filed a motion for child support. I'm not going to hear that today. However, the defendant filed a motion for custody. So we're here today to talk about the defendant's motion for defendant's motion for custody and supervised visitation for the mom. Again, my client, a female, she was in there by herself. I have licensed franchisees of the company. This woman was my franchisee's mom. However, when she got served 10 minutes before she went into the court, she called me. I told her exactly what was going to happen and what to say to stop the nonsense. She said it, it stopped the nonsense. She still got her children today. And the motions that I drafted up for her will induce bowel movements. I'm telling you, you can ask anybody. Because I'm telling y'all here today, I'd be a zombie in court. Flip side to that, when you do have to say something and you have to file a motion, find anybody that said their attorney drafted up a motion better than mine. I'm saying it never happened. It never will. There isn't a person, there isn't an attorney out there that can draft up a motion better than mine. They will hit on arguments better than mine. They don't exist. Every attorney, I'm gonna give you a broad stroke example. If your child's mom didn't let you see your kid on the 3rd, the 5th, and the 9th, an attorney will say on March 3rd, on March 5th, or March 9th, she didn't allow my client to see her child. I wouldn't do that. I'll slow walk that ass. I'll file a motion for the 3rd. We go to court for that, then I'm filing another one for the 5th. When we go through that, then I'm filing another one for the 9th. Why would I get her off on all 3 offenses in one hearing? I'm training this chick that whenever she sees something that says family court or domestic, whatever it's called, when she see a letter, she's going to have a fucking bowel movement. I'm mental. I'm not playing these games with you. Attorneys don't do that. Send this to somebody that's going through something where their child's mom didn't let them, and see if their attorney dog walked them one by one. Then get back to me. Please. I'm telling you. All they do is just throw everything in a pot and we'll see what the judge is going to say. That's what they do. Damn, it is raining out there. That's what they do. Yeah, Clear Streams left a comment about when I was talking about how the judge the judge didn't send it. Yeah, that's exactly. Judges are not going to be bothered. Listen, when you get a motion from court, let me read it again. Let me set this up better than I'm going to set this up better. Clearstream said he probably had his legal clerk send it, but not his ass personally. Right. So let me help y'all understand something. When you're in a court battle, when you're in a battle, I'm suing somebody for $100,000, right? When I filed the lawsuit for the $100,000, I must submit the lawsuit along with the certificate of mailing, along with the order. So I'm supposed to assume I'm going to win, and I draft up an order saying it is hereby ordered for her to pay him $100,000 by way of sending me a can of dog food every day. However, I must draft up the order. And then when you file everything with the courts, then the judge say, okay, he filed the order. Then the judge signs off on the order, and then you send it to her. And both of y'all get a copy. But along with your order, there is, along with the motion, there's an order. So if you know how to look at it right, you'll notice that the order is normally in the attitude of opposing counsel because he drew it up. Judge didn't draw it up, but the judge signed off on the order. So I had hundreds of clients over the years say, I went to court on the 3rd, called the courts. I didn't get the judge hadn't signed off on the order yet. About 4 or 5 of them said opposing counsel hadn't sent over the order yet. And there it is. You gotta know that. I will never, ever, ever allow a judge to look at me mean. It won't happen. That's why I tell you guys should be a zombie. Be a zombie when you go to court. Be a zombie. Pay attention to nothing. Just smooth, calm, collective. He be having sex with old ladies in an elevator. Objection. I'd like her to prove that. It's hearsay, Your Honor. Don't even look at him. You should be in court and know that everything, like I stated earlier, they gonna lie. Again, you individuals act like they tell the truth everywhere else and then come to court and lie. They always lie. They're nothing but liars. They're manipulators. And where does manipulation live? In a lie. So how do you mess around and come up with these narratives? Oh, my child's mom came to court and lied. No, she didn't come to court and lie. You just didn't allow her to tell the truth. That's on you. That's on you. Hey, listen, y'all, I definitely appreciate y'all for being here. And I will catch you guys on the next one.